Hey friends, Roman Carrollton here, and I'm going to show you how to build this awesome Star of Bethlehem. This thing is big. The frame is 9 feet high and 6 feet wide. The extra light rope at the bottom adds a couple of feet to that. Now this thing is pretty easy to put together with some 1/2-inch PVC conduit, some scrap steel, some light rope, and a ton of cable ties. A buddy of mine says I do too much yakking and not enough showing, so hold on, we're going to run through this one. The star is held together with a metal ring in the middle. This is a prototype ring, and you can clearly see the segments that make it up. Follow this pattern for your pieces of steel. I used bar stock that was 1 inch wide and 1/8 inch thick. Now let's make a template for a layout jig. Start with a piece of paper that's 12 inches in diameter. Fold it in half, fold it into quarters, fold it into eighths, and then fold the top piece over to make a crease for a center line. Now find a piece of metal that's about 1 inch wide and lay it across the 2 outside corners and mark the edge toward the point. Now grab your tape measure and measure 1 inch from the center line. And we're going to put an awl through those points. This now becomes our paper pattern that we'll use to make a plywood jig. Now we'll transfer the paper pattern to a scrap piece of plywood. We'll use an awl to transfer all of the hole locations. And then, because this plywood's been used like 100 times, I'm going to mark where all those pricks are. That way we'll know where to drill. And there's our finished plywood template. Let's put the pieces of metal on the jig and get ready to weld. Now, I've had to mark the holes here since I got extras on this jig to keep me sane. Now, you should have a mess of 1/4-20 bolts laying around because you're going to need them to put this thing together. I should probably mention these bolts don't have to be real tight. You're just looking to hold everything together until you get some welds going on here to hold the metal in place. Here's the finished support ring. It's not real pretty, but it'll do. The arms of the star are made with 1/2-inch PVC electrical conduit, all of which get a hole 3/4 of an inch from the end of the pipe. The top legs of the star are 38 inches long. Notice it gets an eye bolt to hold those together. The bottom of the star is 62 inches long, and it gets another eye bolt. The left and right arms are 32 inches long. Those also get eye bolts. And the other 4 rays are all 32 inches long, and those just get plain old nuts and bolts. Let's talk about how all of these pipes bolt to the support ring. We'll start with the bottom ray, and as it comes up to the ring, it doesn't attach to the bottom plate. Instead, it's 1 bolt hole up from the bottom plate. The same thing for this ray here on the right. When it comes up to the ring, it doesn't go to the plate to the right. Instead, it's 1 bolt hole away from that plate. This spreads the rays out and makes them look a little better. Now, the bottom, left, top, and right rays, they all bolt to the top of the support ring, whereas the 45-degree rays come in and bolt to the bottom of the ring. I also put a bolt through where these pipes cross. I think it makes it a little stronger. To put the light rope on the star, I found the middle point of the light rope and put that up here at the top. And then I just started strapping the light rope down around one side of the star, just putting a cable tie every few inches or so around the corners, out to the end, back down to the next corner, and back out, and so forth, until you get all the way around the star on one side, and then go back and repeat it for the other side. At the bottom of the star, I've ended up with a couple of extra feet of light rope, and that's okay. We'll just let it hang off the bottom. I'm not 100% sure this light rope is rated for outdoor use, so to be safe, I put some heat shrink around the ends. Speaking of waterproof, I'm not sure the power supply for the light rope is waterproof. So what I plan on doing is taking an old water bottle that I've cut the top out of, and I'll just put the power supply up inside of it and use a couple of cable ties to strap it to the wire. I've got to paint this thing black before we do that though. The light rope I bought off of eBay. It's 50 feet long, LED, and cool white, my favorite color. I've paid special attention as I've strapped it down to have all of the LEDs pointing in the same direction. I think that's about it. Be sure to paint the frame flat black before you put the light rope on, and you can never have too many cable ties. I'm going to display the star by hanging it in a big pine tree in the backyard. I'll support it by the top eye bolt. The bottom eye bolt will have a rope that holds the extension cord, takes the weight from the cord, and keeps the connector from pulling apart. The left and the right eye bolts will have small guy ropes to them to keep it from twisting in the wind and to ensure that it's always pointed in the right direction. Friends, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been a long time shooting it. You may have heard the cicadas in the background on some of the earlier takes when I was shooting in the summer. And it's about time to hang this thing up for another Christmas. The first year we had this hung out here at the ranch, it stopped traffic in front of the house as people stopped to gawk at it, and I hope you have the same success with your star. This is Roman Carrollton. Thanks for watching.